Hello.
Ba 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 da 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 ba 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 da 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 dun 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 dun. Why did it not like? I set the correct defaults and everything like that.
Furry Cures
Like that, and
1221
then this
thinks you should do
unmutes.
20 squats.
Ah. I thought I thought I finally wasn't getting hit with the streamer curse of like, oh, you'll just start ranting for like a minute or something or rather, or giving your hellos, but everyone will, you know, not hear it because you're muted. Ah, alrighty then. Here we go. Here we go. Grant, please, noise. Big stretch. Big stretch for the big boy. All right, here we go. 20 squats. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Cookie for furry cures as I take 20 squats. Thank you for the 20 squats. I don't want to see anyone fighting over things. I don't want to see anyone fighting over things, okay?
Faboy_97 paid me to say knock, knock. Who's
Who's there?
No bell. No bell who? No bell, so I just knocked. Ha 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 ha.
I'm just gonna take a really deep sigh, not because I'm out of breath, but because of that joke. All right, hang on. I don't think I'm even like sitting up and like looking straight into the camera. Am I? There we go. All right. I don't want to see you guys fighting over things like because this got like a little bit heated yesterday because of like one of my moderators and furry cures, but I don't like seeing, you know, whether it's in good fun or whether it's, you know, really feeling it, doesn't matter. But if I'm seeing in the chat like, oh, damn it, like that was supposed to be mine, I tell you mine, and you're like all capping or you're doing exclamation points or something, and you're fighting over channel point redeems, such as, you know, first to the stream or who gets me to do 20 squats, bit of a mood killer. Really difficult. I like doing this kind of thing for fun. I don't want to have to, like, be a fucking moderator. Jesus. I just want to play video games and chat with people and, I don't know, tell them some very serious nuggets of truth, such as that the American pizza is superior to the Italian pizza. Hey there, Big Dobe. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. I can throw my gun emote. Hang on a second. I want to get in on this fight. Hopefully I'll get a sword this time. Nope, I'm back down to my fist because that boy gets to cheat and have a sword. Like, look at him. He's got a sword. Dude's crying and he's got a sword. Any whoosies. Your go-to knock-knock joke is the Nobel. Yeah, that one is kind of cool. I like the creativity of how to use the TTS spot. I really wish there was a... What is with all these... Sorry, hang on. I need to, like, clean up my desk just a... There's all these, like, scuff marks and things on my, like, desk mat. I didn't realize it was going to get messy that quickly. But yeah, I like the TTS usage. That one is pretty cool. But yeah, things like squats and like first routines. If I'm seeing like people like fight over stuff like that, like one, not cool, and two, like I might just, you know, cut out the middleman of trying to moderate a redeem by just removing it. Cuz, you know, that. I want to have fun. I want people to like not deal with, you know, controversy. Hey, Grant, knock, knock. Who's there? All right, I better get a good knock, knock joke from you. I know I don't have like the like I don't know what the thing is called when it's like parsity tags or something like that, where you can tell the TTS spot to interpret a certain amount of text with either a pitch, a vibrancy, a pause, and any of this kind of stuff. I really wish SpeakerBot would get that in their system, but they've not done the update yet. Hawaii who? I'm trying to think what that would say. Hawaii who? Is it like something Scandinavian because of the Hawaii who? Hawaii who? I'm good. Hawaii you. Maybe if I had like a different way of pronouncing Hawaii who, that would work, but that did not work for me, I'm sorry to say. Good try, wasn't the best. But yeah, so good news, chat. I now have my new I now have a new hard drive, an SSD, a solid state drive. It's bigger than the last one because like currently my system's SSD is like 1 terabyte, and I'm going for a bigger one. And the reason I'm doing this is because I need to find the time to do this at some point. I can't do it tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going to be at work, like in the office instead of working from home like I want my Fridays to be. But at some point, I'm going to go and install Windows 11 on the brand new hard drive rather than trying to install it on an existing hard drive, like as an upgrade and such. Because I have like a mixture of programs on the one hard drive, games and documentations on a second hard drive, and then I've got a 6 terabyte like sort of gaming drive from Western Digital that's meant to be holding like excess storage of like, say, backups or photos or, you know, things that don't need to be like grabbed all that often. But I'll keep the 6 terabyte like Western Digital in the PC, but I'm going to take the 2 solid states out and replace it with like the one larger solid state. And with it having only Windows 11, it will give me an opportunity. Windows 11? Yes, Windows 11. Amazingly enough, Windows 11 has been out for like at least a year now. And it's one of those operating systems that, you know, it had teething problems, don't get me wrong. And I subscribe to the whole don't go into operating systems until like the first service package. That's my sort of way of like feeling out whether or not it's worth the upgrade or not. Now, because people used to have the thing of like, oh, you don't go to 95, from 95, you don't go to 98, you go to XP. From XP, you don't go to Vista, you go to 7. But ever since we did the transition from 8 to 10, like 10 started doing feature updates and such, and the intention is that Windows 10 was supposed to be like the final one, but you know, obviously Windows 11 came in, and that was supposed to be like much like that still did, you know, some of the upgrades from 10, but it was slightly different because it wasn't just, you know, a quiet upgrade like how XP, Vista, and 7 needed to be entirely new PCs. Since Windows 8, we've been able to just, you know, do the numerical upgrade from within the operating system, much like how much like how with Apple, you just run it like a systems update. So that's how Microsoft, I think, has been trying to operate, is there will be major updates in the same vein as Apple is, but there's always going to be like feature updates in between to help you, like, you know, still be worthwhile on like previous updates like with 10. But they're about to stop doing consumer updates to Windows 10. They stopped feature updates like a while ago. I want to say like since February they stopped feature updates for Windows 10, but that was okay because most of the features I wanted from Windows 10 I already had. And, you know, there wasn't that many features from Windows 11 that I was like, oh, it's very important that I get this, because like I was already playing video games as well as I could on Windows 10, and I was not seeing like any, like I wasn't seeing any like big discourse from the discussion of Windows 11 being, oh, it's a little bit problematic for Windows video games because, you know, it's a new operating system and such. I've not seen it shift dramatically from that conversation at the start of Windows 11 to you have to play Windows 11 if you want the best operating system for DirectX 12 or whatever, anything like that. I've been hearing like rumblings of it's okay or it's slight improvements. I've not heard anything that's like dramatic. Better HDR support. I actually do like the idea of the better HDR support, however. That one I'm actually kind of happy for, because one of the monitors I have, fun fact, if you go to Oz Bargain, it's like granted that's an Australian website, but Oz Bargain will tell you about like some discounts and coupons and deals and such. Rather than spend like $1,000 on this monitor, I was able to get this Dell monitor. This it's like a quote unquote gaming monitor, but normally Dell would throw gaming monitors under Alienware. But this is just like a high quality monitor. Like this main one right in front of me here, this one is HDR support. So like having Windows 11 with a better HDR support, I'm all for, because if I have HDR turned on here, everything looks just a little bit weirdly like saturated in color if it's not supported for HDR, and then meanwhile the other monitors I have don't have HDR. And what's more, like, again, we're back in the state of, you know, Windows 10 has stopped doing their feature updates, and they're about to stop commercial updates in 2024, I believe, like, you know, at next year. More ads. I know that there's bloatware. Like, Windows 11 and, like, frankly, ever since Windows Vista, we've been getting bloatware. We've had bloatware in Windows 7, we had it in 8, we had it in 10, we have it in 11. I know that's a thing, but here's the fun fact. People have been making, like, lo-fi sort of Windows 11 builds. So you can create like a Windows 11 that has like none of the features or what have you, or you just install the Windows 11 that you've got, and then you start doing some fun little registry hackery and, you know, application uninstalled nonsense to make it even smaller, which is, you know, kind of what I want. And what's more, like, as far as performance goes, I'm one of the, like, I feel fortunate enough and where, you know, I got the full-time job, thankfully, and I'm not like, you know, reliant on Twitch, which I would be really cool if I could, but I'm not. But my PC is fairly okay when it comes into the realm of, oh, is it going to be able to do all the things I want when I get Windows 11? Yes, it will. Brand new CPU, you guys helped me get me that. 64 gigs of RAM, and I got a fucking baller of ass of a GPU from 2022. It is fantastic. I am probably going to be able to, like, once I move over to Windows 10, I'm probably going to be able to get, like, I don't know, maybe if I wanted to stay tippy top, like, you know, quantifiably worthwhile tippy top, I could probably get like another 2 years out of this PC before like the next big thing in CPUs changes it. Because like going from a 5950X to like a 7950X, or 6950X, whatever, going from like Zen 3 to Zen 4 probably is not worth it for me. It's not like, you know, 100% performance update. It's probably more like a 20% performance update or something. But maybe the next upgrade, maybe the Windows, not Windows, maybe like the Zen 5 architecture, maybe that one will be like a really nice big update. And that's when I'll, you know, have this feeling of FOMO of going, oh no, I am not the most powerful PC in the streaming universe. How can I possibly compete against XQC and Mr. Beast? I honestly don't know if Mr. Beast streams. I'm just assuming because he's got like fucking hundreds and millions of dollars. The streaming universe. Yes, the streaming universe. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, except, you know, it's using our current fiction to, or our current reality. I'm gonna just stop talking. I need to fix some things. Hang on a second. Ding ding, ding ding. Hit the OK, hit the OK. Alrighty then. We are gonna go over to the play section. I am going to turn off intro fighters. Congratulations, that boy. You're the last man standing with 5 kills. Nice work. I can stop that. I can pause this music. And we are gonna go into Final Fantasy 16. Hopefully it looks okay for you guys. Right now it's got like HDR like stuff going off. I'ma be real with you. I'ma keep it a buck, chat. Actually, no, what am I thinking? I can just change the input like right away. So rather than looking at like the display thingy-majiggy in the center of my screen, I can just go and good morning, Mark. It's the evening for me, by the by, so no biggie. I can go and change my input via directly at the monitor. So now I'm looking just directly into the screen, and I can see what the quality is like, you know, on a direct feed, and then I look over on the left. Wait, am I hearing it correctly? Hang on a second. It is really quiet. Is that meant to be the case? Did I put it like too low? Okay, maybe. All right, let's put it on 80. 80 should be okay. All right. So, good news. Because I went through the demo like a whiles ago, I'm able to transfer my save content from the demo straight into Final Fantasy 16. And I think that's beneficial because it means that we don't have to go through the opening stuff that the demo presented us. Additional content is now available for redemption. These items can be claimed from the System tab on the main menu. Gee, thanks. Alright, so this is us. So yeah, he got knocked down or something like that, and then we saw his past, and now it's 13 years later, and we're here. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys.
Welcome back.
Hi, Tiamat.
Sorry. What's our situation? Let's just say Shiva and Titan's little spat hasn't made things any easier.
All right. Oh, no, there's a lot of blood. Is this going to be like low fantasy where it's like, you know, everyone's just annoyed by the lack of magic they can use?
It's as you thought. The Crusaders have sounded the retreat.
Then we follow.
We're down a man, Sergeant.
If we return without Shiva's head, our fate will be no different from Biast's.
I'll take my chances with the Iron Blood. At least then I might die fighting.
What a terrible way of treating a sword.
After you do, is...
Oh, chat. I can wear my shirt. Hang on a second. Where's my shirt?
I won't be done.
It's Final Fantasy, so I get to wear the Chocobo shirt.
Then it's settled. No dying. Now, if you don't mind, we have an
Hey!
army to chase.
Flu! No! Flu, I don't... No, I just put on the cool shirt! I just put on the cool shirt! Why'd you take it from me? Ooh, new icon abilities.
Pull the lever.
No, don't pull the lever. Alrighty. Scarlet Cyclone and Heatclave are now available for acquisition and upgrade on the abilities menu.
How do they expect us to kill something that could...
Alright, so... Excuse you. Alright, so we've got this thing, which... Yep, and then we got Cyclone Thingamadiggy. Ooh. When equipped, time slows down before an evadable attack strikes Clive. No effect when equipped with the Ring of Timely Evasion. Timely Strikes. Will automatically use a potion when his HP falls below a certain point. Will be used... Potions will be used before high potions. Sure. I'm not going to put on, like, all those equipments, because I feel like that might, like, you know, downplay the amount of work I have to do in the game. Alright. Imbues it with fire. And then this one, like, costs a lot more. So I got 210 to use. And then we got Heat Wave. That one's 500. That one's 300. What's this one? Executing at the right moment in an enemy not only invades in creation, but also allows for counterattacks using square or triangle. And if we need 500 to increase it. Cookie for Jason. Hi there. Welcome to the stream. All right. You know what? I think we'll to close in. Yeah, we're gonna master the lunge. Hello.
They don't. Only the girl holding its leash.
Hi, Code. Hi, Jason. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, Code? I'm sorry I didn't like. I wasn't able to help you or anything like that earlier this morning when your Discord got hacked. I'm sorry about that. You're doing better? That's good. As long as you're doing better. Flu's here, just absolutely vibing to this fucking music.
Hell finding a way out.
Do you think a retreating army and their dominant will fare any better?
The nipple. Yes. Flu stole my shirt, so now I'm topless. Blame Flu. They stole my shirt.
By the flames.
We're setting up a new server at the moment. I got your invite to it, so yeah. Thank you for the invite. Alright, so I will definitely... I think I've said at least hello in there. I've not said more. I need to, you know, do the important. Like, I need to do the due diligence and give you some new memes. Because, like, I know we share things from TikTok. You give me, like, some OBS fun nonsense or something from Final Fantasy, and I share you some dumbness. It's 4:17 a.m. I'm listening at 1%, only enough to hear you. Fair enough. We need to be extra quiet for Flu the Kenku.
Did you hear that?
Down there.
Are you a bottom? Then you won't be topless for long.
So, Titan has knocked the fight out of our Ironblood friends. Where are the rest of them? That can't be the main host.
Wait.
It was very tempted to shout, but I couldn't think of anything clever to say.
Our fortunes have turned,
Becky.
Sergeant.
Lemon smash.
The dominant.
Bonker.
Are you certain?
Yep, there we go. Thank
Crystalline
you.
Orthodox is a
Thank you, Masonic.
For a backwards people. In the Iron Kingdom, they teach that dominants are unclean aberrations, born of blackest sin. Only their priests are allowed to perform the rites of priming. And I see many.
Alrighty.
End this quickly.
Dun 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 dun.
Freischgott! Adion in hier Sagarid! Drach!
Wait, are the kids... What? Okay, so they're just using the little kids as hostages. Like, who is she? Like, previously, like, I don't know. Is she parents to the kids, or is she just like? Yeah, whatever.
What Alvation now kin? Alan Scully asked.
You've no ice in you, steel must serve. Cool. Are we really just gonna...
Let this be the end.
Okay, so that is Shiva. Are we just gonna chop her head off? Okay, we're gonna need it.
Care to kill some Ironblood?
Gladly.
Wyvern, you focus on the target.
Understood.
Oh! I forgot some of the buttons.
This time.
Be gone!
This time.
And there we go. No, do not take my shirt off again. There we go. Good amount of static.
Orders, Sergeant!
Stop talking and move!
Fucking icons. Icon? She's not even fully primed.
Not this time.
I will not have their blood on my hands.
Don't care. We're killing you because that's asked of, you know, our kingdom. Yes! Alright, now we have to do... Yes! There we go. Did it. Alright, I'm gonna lower the volume just a little bit so that way I'm not, like, having my ears blaring with all this, like, you know, music and what have you, and I have an opportunity to chat, if need be. So, Frozen Tear, Potion, High Potion. We're gonna need some of those. Alrighty then. Now, is she gonna give us a reason for why we shouldn't kill her? Because I feel like she's gonna give us a reason why we shouldn't kill her. Are we gonna chop off her head?
Is she dead?
I don't think so.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Oh.
No, that's not you. Not here.
Wait, that can't be the same person.
I'll bloody do it then.
Oh.
Fuck.
Alright, there's more of the Iron Bloods.
We've got company, Wyvern.
It felt deserved. Well, to be fair, we did kill most of their men, so...
Get your ass over here and help me with these bastards!
What is he...
Sorry, Jill.
Is that, like, is it actually the girl from our past? Like, who was, like, with us, with our like, little boy, wolf? Alright, more fighting. Here we go.
What's wrong with you, Wyvern?
Dominant. I know her.
Know her? Look around you! Do you think any of these animals care? I need you here!
It's over.
There we go. Easy. Yes, I did get this on the PS5.
Now that that's...
This is a PS5. I am one of those very lucky, fortunate people where... Oh, wrong button. I am one of those lucky, fortunate people where I got myself a PS5. It was really difficult trying to find how to get a PS5, but I got it. Granted, I had the PS5 for a few years. I decided to try and get it when everyone was trying to get a PS5, and it was relatively tricky. But I succeeded. And I know there's like one or two people that are like, oh, why'd you get it? Because, like, you know, you could still play a lot of these games on the PlayStation. The Last of Us Part 1 on the PlayStation. Spider-Man on the PlayStation. Ratchet and Clank are coming out on the PlayStation. It's like, here's the thing. I get affected by the FOMO. Like, this game, sure, it's going to come out on PC in like 6 months or so, but I don't want to wait 6 months to a year. I want to play it now. And look, I get to.
Ask you again, Wyvern. Take her head so we can be done with this.
I can't. I won't.
You would betray the Holy Empire?
To be fair, the Holy Empire betrayed him.
I don't recall ever pledging allegiance to your Emperor. My service may have been bought with this brand, but not my loyalty. I just fight to survive.
And you think I don't? The Empire will have our heads if we return empty-handed. So if you won't take hers, I'll have to take yours.
I told you, Sergeant. I'm not dying here today. And neither is she.
Let's find out.
Too slow.
There we go. Staggering.
Wyvern! Have you forgotten who plucked you from the front line? Who trained you? Who gave you a name when you had none?
You speak as if we don't bear the same brand, Sergeant. I've always had a name, and I've not forgotten it.
Still clinging to the past like a torn blanket. Then you will die, as you should have 13 years ago.
There we go.
For nothing! No one! And I will not fall by your hand!
Not this time.
Traitor's blood.
There we go. I was so way too focused. I'm so sorry. So Flu's never played a Final Fantasy game. I played Final Fantasy 15 before I ever did streaming, but I didn't play the Royal Edition. I have the Royal Edition because, you know, PlayStation Plus thingy-majiggy, so I have the opportunity of playing the Final Fantasy 15 on the PlayStation 5. I'm not really 100% interested in, like, you know, going right back to 15 while 16 is out. I might go back to playing, like, the original, like, Final Fantasies, like, going through 1 to 6, because I've got that on Steam, and I don't know why. I like the idea of, you know, catching up through a franchise, like what I did with Titan Quest, BioShock, Kingdom Hearts. Those are all, like, interesting things to do. You've only had 2 PlayStation consoles, PS2 and PSP. You can't remember the model. Well, PSP is just the mobile. They did a PSP Vita, but I don't think that one, like, did a weird sliding out thingy-majiggy. The PS2 just stopped working. After that, it was only Xbox and Nintendo. Next console would be a PlayStation. I think getting a PlayStation... If you have a PC for video games, I feel like the PlayStation console or the Nintendo, it was going to be your best option. PlayStation just because of the fact that there was, like, you know, first-party IPs that are limited on there. And then Nintendo because, you know, things like Mario Party or Mario Kart or whatever other kind of Mario game there is. Because that's the only franchise that Nintendo apparently wants to work with is Mario. Cool, we get meteorite shit. Idiot. Now we have to deal with all these Iron Bloods, and there's, like, no one who can help us. What is your solution? You don't have a guarantee she'd be willing to help us after we went through so much effort to kill her. Or close to killing her, I should say. So what are these guys gonna do? If you survive this because they decide to capture you, you are going to be one of the most fortunate, like, you know, or ill-fortuned, what's-my-whoosies. Okay, that's different. That is a lot of lightning. I like the slowdown, though. I don't think Ramah himself is helping us. I'm just gonna be real with you. It's probably like the same sort of thing here, like a dominant or the icon or what have you. Like it's someone who can like use the powers of Ramah. Oh my goodness, is the dog responsible? Oh, it's not. Okay. I thought it would have been funny if the dog was responsible. Instead, it's Sid.
Bloody wind. Well, come on then.
They just... Doggy. I know. There's a dog that he's fully grown. I want to pet him. I don't think... Of course it's Sid. Yes, of course it's Sid. Did you really think there was going to be any time they weren't going to just give us Sid in a Final Fantasy game? We'll try and pet the dog, okay? If we get an opportunity to, we'll pet the dog.
My proud desert lion. Would that you had taken care when chasing the hare? I expected more from the mighty Titan.
Oh, look at her being all...
We put the Ice Queen on her back. No doubt. But you'll have to work harder if you're to claim this prize.
Is this just gonna be a case where, like, there's gonna be, like, all the different nations having their fights? But in reality, it's not nations fighting nations that's gonna be the biggest issue. It's just gonna be the people with the power of God, and one or two of them are gonna have, like, no allegiance to regions, and one of them is just gonna have, like, the decision of, like, I will exploit the religious and the regions and their monarchies to get what I want. I have no care for the nation or what have you. Is that what I'm going to end up with? The dog is behind everything? I don't think the dog is behind everything. You're welcome to think that, but I think you're wrong.
Jill. Is it really you?
I've not played any of the Silent Hill endings. But I think I've heard of the... You're talking about like, isn't that like a parody ending where they're like, ah, yes, there's like a TV control room and there's a dog, like a Shiba in there.
And who's this?
We're petting the dog.
A fine hound who saved your life. That's who.
I bet you that's Wedge.
Right?
His name is Torgal.
You two acquainted? Well then, you won't mind taking him off my hands. Funny. I'd always pictured you as more the chocobo type. Clive Rosfield.
So why does Sid know us is the
Fleet
next
is
question.
Flame, fierce as a wildfire. That there was the blessing of the Phoenix. I'd heard rumors that you'd survived, but I never paid them much heed.
13 years you could have tried finding me.
Calm down. I didn't come all this way for your handsome mug. Now her, on the other hand, she seemed worth muddying my boots for.
What's your idea? You better not be doing anything rapey to her.
None the worse for wear. Still, might be best to get a second opinion.
That's
Back
Biggs.
her up.
Oh wait, no, that would be Wedge.
Not another step. I mean it.
Well, I'm not about to leave her here. Not one with a warm bed waiting.
You're gonna go see? Not to worry, it's like 4 in the morning for you. You have a good sleep. I didn't pay attention to the name of that dude. I can't... What's the difference between Biggs and Wedge? Because my only experience of Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 14. I'm pretty sure Biggs is the little potato person. Oh, his name is Goetz. And he's got, like, Avalon's accent.
explain everything once we're back at the hideaway. Come on.
Aw, he's a boy. He's a good boy. That voice is sexy? Yes, it's because Sid apparently gets to have the sexiest voice. Not everyone has to be voiced by Matt Mercer. Some reason people hear Matt Mercer and they're like, my sense of sexuality is being questioned by this man and his maple tones. All right, so we need to go here. And we're here. Oh, we can just travel wherever the fuck we can go. Alrighty then. I can close this tab. There's like a number of ding, dong, bong,
Not much further now.
But we're in the middle of the Deadlands.
Keen eye, you. The blight sucked this place dry. Meaning no trees, no birds, and no magic. But it also means no neighbors.
No neighbors.
The last place anyone would think to look.
Oh, fun fact, chat. So I learned about this on a TikTok. So there's a big asterisk beside this headline here, but apparently Ireland has these like remote island homes, and they're willing to give a $90,000 grant if you will buy them and live in them. Let me find the news article. Hang on a second. So, because the idea is obviously that you, and I totally forgot. I can't just do the thing. All right, I know what I can do. I can create a new window capture, and it's going to be Opera GX. Ding. And it's not going to be of the HUD companion. It's going to be of the Opera GX. It's going to be automatic. Capture the cursor. Force SDR.
That boy _97 thinks you should do 20 squats.
In a minute, okay? In a minute. I just need to do the thing, all right? I just need to do a thing real quick. Move you here. Alrighty. Ding. So islands. Think my account was hacked again. What do you mean again? What are you doing? All right, hang on. Code. First and foremost, number one, get two-factor authentication turned on. Get SMS, get something. Number two, get a password manager. How? How? Ding. General chat. If anyone wants to, I plan to. All right, cool. So that's that. All right, I'll figure out shortly about code for it. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna do my 20 squats. Let me just get the Ireland Islands 90K grant. Dirt cheap homes you can buy with the obligation that you restore. That's the idea. But here's the other thing: is that they're remote as fuck islands. So the $90,000, like, I'm pretty sure the homes aren't even, like, they're not even as cheap as $90,000. They're probably like a couple $100,000 or a couple million if I'm knowing my chances. And once you do get them, so like you still have to purchase these homes as far as I know, and then you have to go and, you know, restore them and such, because again, they are a remote fucking island. Any whoosies, let me do my 20 squats. Big stretch. Wait. Code. Are you talking about your original account for Discord, or are you talking about your new Discord account? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. Am I gonna just have to call you on Discord and make sure you're not... Hang on. Like, why would he come to this conclusion? Like... Any whoosies. But yeah. Ireland will pay $90,000 to move to a beautiful island home. Huge caveat there. Offered to people willing to refurbish vacant or derelict homes and then live in them. The vacant home offices now on the case to identify eligible properties. Would-be islanders would be aware that while there are no restrictions on who can buy property in Ireland, owning a place doesn't guarantee you the right to live there. Government website has the latest deets on our Living Island policy and the existing refurbishments. Plus-size travelers are hitting out at discriminatory and inconsistent airline policies that often mean they are forced to buy additional seats. Wow. A young bear was spotted enjoying a swim along... Wait, why is there, like, multiple stories here? Hang on, why are they giving me, like, multiple... Just give me the one story in CNN, please. Here we go. Ireland announces a new scheme offering generous cash grants to people willing to move to approximately 30 islands of the country's wild west coast. Some prerequisites have to be met. The Our Living Island scheme offers up to €84, or $92,000, to people who want to move to the beautiful, sparsely populated islands on the Atlantic coast. Not connected to the mainland by bridges and are cut off by tides. The options include Innismore, which was used as a filming location for the Banshees of Inisherin. Oh, that one is going to be like taken away like so quickly. Arranmore. The goal is to refurbish vacant or derelict buildings on islands into long-term homes as part of a broader initiative to revitalize life in the community on the islands and increase the population, the government says. As a result of delivering this policy, we will see more people living on the islands and more people working on our islands, with good career prospects regardless of where their employer is headquartered. That is not too crazy of an idea, quite honestly. Like, for the few companies that are still doing, like, the whole, work from home initiatives, I know there are some tech companies that are, like, forcing people to come into the office. One, that's really fucking annoying, and one of the reasons they do it is to, force people to, come into the office because they want to make their rent worthwhile for owning the building still. But two, some businesses and HR departments have figured out that if you want to get rid of someone from your company, just force them to start working in the office. They might likely decide to be like, nah, fuck that. I'll try and find a different place that will let me work from home. And then, once they go on the job market, then they have to, sell themselves. And, maybe the company will be like, oh, no, legitimately, this person is a nightmare and you definitely want them working in your office or something crazy like that. So those kinds of scenarios happening. But for those who, still do the work from home scenario, this could work. What do I need to do to get this? Hang on, I can move this over here instead. Dink. Eom. Eom. Sorry, I'm just reading a very important article. 30 islands. So yeah, it's meant to revitalize the population levels on the island, diversify the economies, enhancing the health and well-being services, empowering islands, and to build smart, sustainable futures. Sorry. Where is... Tell me, what are the requirements, please? Here it is. The National Island Policy. Let's have a little squiz of a read. Give me a second. This is important shit. Developing consultation, a comprehensive policy aim. Jesus Christ, this is like a really long... I don't have time to read all this. This is way too much information. Like, what? Oh, wow, there's like so many old people. Poor digital connectivity, a lack of houses, and the existential... ferry timetables not always sufficient to accommodate social life and workers' needs, a lack of employment opportunities, reliance on tourism, a lack of economic investment. Island infrastructures are in need of improvement. Poor internal transport on the islands themselves. Fire services need improvement. No vets on the island. Oh, no vets on the island. I can't have a... So I can't have like a dog, and if something goes wrong with the dog, I can't get help on the island? Oh, well... Very little crime. I love how it's very little. Not no crime, but very little. Any whoosies. Not important. Close you. Ding. I can't get distracted again. I need to get back into the game.
Home sweet home.
It's a shithole. Ireland presenting their islands. Home sweet home. There is no infrastructure. There's no vets. The internet is non-existent. But hey, great tourism and little crime. Okay, so there is actually a few people here at this hideaway. And it's a mixture... Ooh, hey, Moogle! Torfin!
These are fallen ruins.
Well, we didn't think they'd mind. And it keeps the black from our lungs.
But how do you survive without magic?
The classic way.
Hard work and a bit of nerve. You must be starving. We grow them here, believe it or not. Suit yourself.
You're back.
Woman on the stairs.
Are you?
And this
Ooh.
is the dominant.
Hi, redhead.
Since we found her, I was hoping you might give her a look over.
All right. Goots, get her upstairs.
But Nan will...
Don't fret about Karen. I've taken care of her fee.
All of it?
She's the best healer this side of the belt. You've nothing to worry about.
Noted.
Go on. Have a look around. I'll be in my solar.
Yay. Hang on a sec. I just need to really quickly do something. I have a plan, Arthur. You always have a plan. This is a good one. Alrighty, Alright, here we go. Local map. Pressing the thingy-majiggy opens a detailed map of your area. Main scenarios are marked with the red. Cool. And we are going to purposely avoid the main quest because this is an RPG. Never mind. That's accidentally following the quest. Can we pet the dog?
Still hungry, are you?
Might have something round here.
Let me pet you. Let me pet you. Here we go. Hi. Hello, boy. Oh no, too far. Hi. You's a good boy. You's a good boy. You's a good boy. Yeesh. You's a good boy. Can't pet him in the game. That's annoying. All right, what's your thing? All right, well, you're just mean.
The washroom floor's all mended then.
Dun, 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 dun.
Just working on a pet project of mine. Though she's not above biting the hand that feeds her.
You're just gonna let us sleep on a couch, aren't you?
I was hoping we might try and solve the mystery of poor Clive Rossfield. A bearer of the Sambrequois Imperial Army sent behind enemy lines. With orders to wait until it turned into a brawl, then slit the dominant's throat in the chaos.
I didn't know it was her. How could it be?
And so, to save her neck, you slit your sergeants. Then set your sights.
Hello!
Hi there, YY.
Forgetting how the Empire deals with deserters. Because with that on your chop, my friend, we both know you won't be getting far. You've fallen a long way, Lord Rossfield.
He's not a lord. Well, actually, no. He probably technically is a lord because he is like the firstborn son, and there is no dominant. Cookie for YY. Good to see you, YY. Glad to see that the text is working this time.
I'll not have it said that I'm a poor host.
What do you mean to do with her?
Do with her? Why, nothing. Her life is her own now. If I wanted to use her, do you think I'd be talking to you? All I want to do is help. Dominants like her, branded like you. Of course, the realm doesn't approve, which is why we live in a cave.
So what, you're looking to, what, topple the Empire?
And it's also why we need help. From branded who know one end of a sword from the other. What say you, Clive? Will you join us?
Sid, was it? I trust that you'll do right by Jill. But until my brother
And of course, in a fantasy, we have to... Could Twitch ban me because I was to discuss with many streamers? I don't know. I'm still under the impression that what happened might have just been a session ID error with your account at the time. Because if you were just going from, like, you know, on the same device, going between browser and app, and it was still being a problem, it could have just been a case where the account details on the application and the device were just incorrect temporarily. But, you know, hard to say without, you know, being able to repeat it again.
Avenged.
My brother was murdered.
I'm gonna be real. I still think it's you that did it.
It's his evil twin. Oh, bugger me. Another rumor proven true.
I only stand here today because of Joshua. 13 years I've waited for this chance. I've slept in filth, drunk from a gutter, killed more men than I can count. You're right.
I'm glad that we don't have just
the Empire
a twink as our leader.
This will be my best opportunity. My last.
Which is why you should join us.
I told you I'm not
interested, I know.
I'm betting you'll be interested once we, you know, have
One of
our
my scouts sent word there's a group of branded fugitives north of here, in the Imperial village of Lostwing. Among them is one he believes to be a dominant of fire.
Is he certain?
It's worth checking.
What say we go and ask him?
Exactly.
This doesn't mean I'm joining you.
Let's make ready then.
We are most likely going to join him, but it wouldn't be that this sort of fantasy realm without having, you know, the brooding black-haired being like, I've never asked for this. I just have awesome power and a hairstyle that I'd never have to bother working on after I wake up. God, the women think I'm so sexy, but I'm so brooding. How could they possibly love a sexy, masculine man such as myself? Oh, can't talk to him.
Downstairs.
Careful, you. I've spent the whole morning on these steps.
Well, you're doing a terrible job.
When lightning struck, his yoke did break, his life his own again. With thunder's roll, he knew his fate and would fight it to the end.
Terrible. Just car prices in German and Ukraine. The streamer is saying that for new cars the same, but found the prices 50%, and he was calling me an idiot and blocked me. Sent reports, and he offend his viewers. Who knows?
Goots, was it? Perhaps you can help. Sid asked me to make ready for our mission. How does one go about that here?
Well, there's old Nan's place. On second thoughts, you maybe want to see Blackthorn first.
All right.
A blacksmith. To the forge it is then.
Take me.
Oh wait, no, hold up. You'll be needing this. Blackthorn won't take no notice of you otherwise. Might not anyway.
What did you give me? A continental rum. Oh, are we gonna force this man to drink?
Are you Blackthorn?
What if I am? I've no time for idle chatter.
I'm not here to talk. I'll be accompanying Sid to Lostwing.
Could Twitch ban me because I sent reports for hateful content? No,
Goddess Krieger to our holy.
Just think about that for a moment. You communicated in a streamer's chat. You made mention of, like, you know, an inconsistency, or maybe a comment was made and the streamer didn't appreciate that. The streamer banned you in your chat, or they blocked you. You sent a report, or it's saying that there was, like, hateful conduct from the streamer. What more likely would have happened is he might, or they might have, like, decided to just, you know, have you mass reported by like a group of people and such, by throwing clout or something. I don't think Twitch would be having you sending reports give the repercussion of, you know, you doing you needing to get blocked or something like that. Unless you were doing, like, multiple false reports. But normally I think they would normally then tell you, hey, stop falsely reporting. Here's a timeout across the site or something like that. Twitch is not in the interest of, like, you know, banning people because they report one time.
Bedchamber for all I care. I'm not lifting a finger for you.
Is that so?
Hand over the continental rum.
Do you
Zooming
want that
out.
or not? I can take it back.
Damn you, Goots. All right. No need to be hasty. Let's have a look at you.
Then it's most likely then, I don't know, maybe the streamer and a number of his viewers decide to report you or something like that, and then you got the ban that way.
Imperials.
Hard to say. Not really 100% focused on that.
I'll do what I can. As a favor to Goot's mind.
Yay! Forging. The crafting of new gear as well as upgrading of existing gear can be done at the forge, or blacksmith, sorry, as long as you have the recipe and the proper materials. Select a highlighted item from the list and hold X to craft or upgrade. Nice, so we can upgrade our iron belt. Or we can craft a belt, sorry.
And the belt sees a square. You want
Cool.
anything else, you bring your own materials.
I'll bear that in mind.
There we go.
Thank you.
Or, hang on.
A word of advice. Don't let Sid decide what's best for you.
Right. When something has changed in the hideaway, a notice will appear in the upper right corner of the screen. In addition to stock updates for Charon's Toll and new forging recipes for the Black Hammer, there's also notices for new quests, missives, and many other things.
I suppose I should
Nice.
You take it back and tell that blockhead I'm not paying for stuff I didn't ask for.
Wait, can I talk to him again? Like, he has a little...
Well, I'm saying forging, do you?
Okay, so I can upgrade my broadsword as well if I wanted. Oh, no, these are craftable things. Can I reinforce stuff? I don't have the broadsword. Yeah, it's telling me I don't have a broadsword. And to make a broadsword +1... Iron belt, iron bracers.
Anything
Okay.
else?
Including those in the quest, and then consumables. Cool. And then that's our journal. And then this is the map. Our attributes. All right, there we go. Is it new? Yes, this is Final Fantasy 16. It got released on the PlayStation 5, so that's what I'm playing it on right now.
Let me share a word of warning. Keep your hands out of the stores, or I'll cut them off and crate them with the others.
Another newcomer. You mind the rules?
Why do they spell jailer in such a weird way?
Through the bars.
Yes, this is the PlayStation 5. Some peeps don't listen. Here we go. You.
The gift worked. You have my thanks.
Come on, nearly there.
Yeah. Oh. New peeps.
You, blankets, quick as you like. All right, we make him comfortable while the bed's made up. Well, you're just gonna stand there? Someone fetch some water.
I'll get the bucket. You go and see if Otto needs out, eh?
If Otto needs out. Is it proper to compare a PlayStation graphics unit to a PC? No, absolutely not. Here's the thing. When the PlayStation, because here's, Xbox and PlayStation all use AMD graphics units and CPUs. Now, I know ever since like the whole x86 architecture being utilized for game consoles, some people think that the tech from the PlayStation and like the PC side are interchangeable or something. they are not. And what's more is when they announced the PS5 and they made a point of, oh, we're including an SSD, and it has like a different means of, you know, communicating its information from the SSD to the motherboard and into the RAM and yada yada. A lot of people just sort of said, oh, congratulations, console players. You are now up to date with, like, you know, with PCs from 10 plus years ago. And it's like, rude for starters, because the PlayStation's SSD are not connected via SATA or PCIe as it is with PCs. They are connected and they communicate in a completely different manner. It's just, yeah. So they're like, sure, they're done by the same brands, but they are not connected or put together in the same way as PCs do. It's entirely different stuff.
Are we safe?
So, because if it just took building a PC to make the consoles, then consoles would easily be like $1,000 plus, but they're not right now. They're like $400, and that's because they're like, you know, custom material made and using like much less than what you would get in like a 3090.
We need tire. Well, go on, shift your ass.
Go on, shift your ass. Righto.
After Jill.
So this is just going to give us like a little bit of an introduction of like, oh, this is where all the people in the hideaway are.
Your friend needs her rest. There'll be time for tearful reunions once she's recovered.
I'm not here for that.
You're wanted downstairs. There are injured bearers in need of attention.
Well, why didn't you say so?
I did say so.
So mean.
He's going to be all right. But I'll need to examine them both in the infirmary. My work's just begun.
A 3090 has better performance than a 16GB GPU PS5. Again, that's not how the PlayStation and the PC's like graphics units function. They don't work in equivalent values like that.
Do many of the bearers who come here arrive in this state?
It's no easy thing, casting off your chains. By the time most pluck up the courage, they're already too far gone. These two here are the lucky ones. The name's Otto. You need anything, you ask me.
Well, Otto, I do need some supplies.
Do you now? Then Lady Karen over there will be more than happy to help you.
Right.
Oh, and thanks. Be seeing you.
Not likely. I won't be staying.
Is that right? Well, for as long as you are here, consider yourself welcome. You helped us today, and we won't forget it.
Yay, side quest unlock. I am going to get very distracted in this game. Journals, to-do list, any quest can be prioritized on the journal. Yeah, okay. Hideaway, 1,000 tomes, an ever-growing cumulation of all things Velishia and the orchestration. Should I have on the PC to have the performance of the same? Can you answer it, or is it impossible to answer? For this game, it's technically impossible to answer because you can't get this on the PC yet. And I've not done PC. I've not been able to do competitive PC building in a long time. I haven't done that kind of, you know, strong comparison. Like, you're better off like looking at, I don't know, TechSpot or PC Parts Picker for guides on how to make similar sort of computers for, you know, game performance or what have you. Because what I have currently is not appropriate for only video games. My build that I have right now is very much a workhorse sort of build. It is high number of CPU new cores and threads, so then that way I can do playing video games, transcoding, 3D renders, and all that all at the same time. The GPU, meanwhile, has the massive fucking video RAM, so then that way I'm able to do simulations and 3D work with them. The RAM, random access memory, same sort of... all of the stuff that I have is so then that way I can do a lot of things and do them simultaneously with a lot of other things as well. Or crazy-ass... you know, what's mahoozies.
Oh, thank you. You'll be helping me and the hideaway both. Takes a lot of work to keep this place standing.
It certainly looks like you've got...
Ah, you can say that again. That's why the walls need shoring up.
No, I suppose not.
Ask over at the White Ads. They'll point you. Thanks again.
All right, cool. 3070 should be fine to have similar performance as PS5 in games. I don't know, like... you could probably, like, I know the 4060 is going to be released in July, I believe. You're best looking in, like, news articles and, you know, Gamer Nexus or Jay's 2 Cents to get you, like, a rundown on, you know, the performance in different games and coming up with your own judgment of, oh, this is the kind of performance you get from consoles as being at least this many frames per second or something or rather.
Excuse me. The man working over by the garden sent me to fetch some...
Ah, that'll be Jeffrey, master carpenter. Luck would have it, we've just finished cutting the You take as much as you need.
Thank you.
No, not at all.
Oh, that was an easy quest. I thought I'd have to go outside.
Here we are. I'd better get this to...
Yes. The wood feels very much like wood. Why is there no sprint? I want sprint. Here you go, wooden planks.
Will this be enough?
Hopefully so.
Do nicely, thank you. With a bit of luck.
That sounds...
oh, it's not as bad as all. Now stop fretting.
There's no need to...
That's not a matter of need, my friend. You're one of us now.
Already bought a laptop with a 37. All right, cool. Should do it for you then. Meteorite and... wait, what's the gill bug for? Oh, it can just be traded in for gill. It's not used for, like, fishing like it is in Final Fantasy XIV. Alrighty. Is there... Oop. Hello?
You another one of Sid's strays? What? We all are. Little uns, big uns, and everything in between. We're a damn sight better off here than out there in the woods.
Could not be bothered sitting there listening to the rest of it, sorry. My brain is doing that thing where I just want content. Alright, tell us.
A new face, and dare I hope, a willing pair of hands. The fat chocobo is a demanding mistress, and we are too few to keep her on her feet. Might I persuade you to deliver a meal or two to souls in need of sustenance? For your trouble, I can offer you the contents of my... marvelous. And who exactly...
Clive.
Delighted to make your acquaintance, Clive. Now, I have 3 hungry
Yay! Alright, here we go. Nvidia's 40s so strongly punch wallet. Yep. They are getting costly, and I think it doesn't help that we're still reeling from, like, the 2020s when so much money was made hand over fist from all these, like, service-based offers, like Netflix, new purchase of products, food, and all this sort of such. But then we all went back to work, we all started having travel, we had much less money to, you know, spend on nonsense, and companies still wanted record profits.
Well met, lad.
Like, we were going to have this problem. What should be better to buy, a 3090 or a 4070? I do not have that. I do not have the stat sheets in front of me. That is going to have to be a research and investigate yourself.
Think me lazy for
like,
waiting to be served like a lord. Only my former master did not use me kindly, you see. But Sid took me in nonetheless.
The Ironblood were quick
Like-
to sound the retreat once Titan turned up.
Far lot of good that icon.
Thought that them both had similar performance on 4K in games. I just don't know. I just don't have this kind of knowledge just sitting in my head. It is like someone would probably have like done the investigations and such like that, and it just like sits in their head all the time. But once I got my 3090, I've just stopped like caring about stat sheets and such. I don't keep the information like locked in my brain and ready to expunge it to anyone who asks. Like, it is going to be a case of the only time I'm ever going to be curious and learn more information is either because I'm building a PC or because someone has asked me, hey, I need to build a PC. Can you tell me the parts that I need? And, you know, I'll build it off that. But it's like, I don't normally offer my services of like, hey, here's what you need to build a PC. It's just, it's just dull work.
Well. There's so much more to farming than just seeds.
Because I don't know, it just feels like shopping. But I don't have the money, and I have to like make the shopping list for someone else.
I won't be a burden.
Tedious.
No use to anyone as I am, but maybe if I can master this.
All right, but
What are you doing,
see
boy?
that you eat it before it gets cold.
Of
What
course.
are you doing?
Thank you.
Just reading.
That's the last one.
Kenneth
now.
No, we can't talk to him because I'm in the middle of a quest. Kenneth, everyone has their food.
All done, I presume?
They were bearers, not slaves waiting upon their master's pleasure, but men waiting to be fed like equals.
Indeed. Equality is the very cornerstone upon which our little community... Beyond these walls, we are scorned as slaves, speaking only when spoken to, eating only what scraps our masters deign to give us. The first hot meal here is the first. In the hideaway, we are free. Truly free to speak as we please, when we please, and to eat what and when we desire. More than reason enough to trust in Sid's vision. Now, I promised you something for your trouble, did I? Thank you, Clyde.
Dun 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 dun. Yay, we got a lot more gold this time. Hey, we can use this to craft more shit. Hang on a second. Hang on. Countless treasure coffers lie across the realm just waiting to be plundered. Don't hesitate to kick it open. Oh, and we still get to kick it and get a cool thing. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I don't know how it can be. Red Dead Redemption 2 gets 10 gigabytes from 4070s and 11 from 3090s. Couldn't take more and produce more on a 30 if it has so much memory left. Not all graphics units are built equally, is the thing.
I need supplies for my journey to Lost Wing.
What's that? Well, since he followed Sid home one night, I've seen to... Though I suppose that's your job now.
I won't.
So, what? You didn't think I'd shout life doesn't work that way?
Alrighty, we can get consumable items, and... Alright, so we can get a broadsword if we want. Iron bracers, potions, and then we can sell shit. Gillbug, here we go. We can sell this because it's valuable.
I reckon I
We
can
need
find
this
mine.
for crafting purposes. We got frozen tier and meteorite. Alright, here we go.
Why, you've barely...
Oop. Boy! Boy! Boy, 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 boy!
Now.
Boy! Boy!
And after all I've done for you...
Let me pet the boy. Let me pet the boy.
All right, I can make an exception.
Let me pet the good boy. Let me pet the good boy.
Just this once, mind. My stores are getting cluttered and I need to make room for the next shipment.
Thank you.
Thank me? Thank your dog.
Oh, I want to thank him. Let me pet him. Why won't you let me pet him? This is so rude. It's just a simple thing. We just want to pet the dog. Just let us pet the dog. There's been so many games where I've been allowed to pet the dog. Let me pet the goodest boy. Look at him. He's there. He's right there. I just... Get closer. Eh. Closer, please. Ah. Could be limitation of the game, taking to produce more frame, or do you think it's especially hardware fault? Memory does not help with frame rate, by the by. Memory is the storage of textures and calculations and what have you. You still need, like, cores to do the calculations and such. And the benefit of a GPU is it is a shit ton of tiny cores doing the calculation. It's all simple math shit. The Airite Stone is now accessible. This customizable virtual battlescape provides Sid a safe place to test out new abilities and train against all manner of enemies. Additional options will be available as Clive does his story. Cool. Hole of Virtue. We are going to commence the training. Cool.
It's over.
Oh, you can see, like, my buttons in the top right as well.
Stay down. It's over.
All right, let's do Gigas.
Not this time.
Ow.
Not this time.
All right, so there's like a window I can do the bursting. Clock speed and memory speed. Clock speed will definitely be like the thing, but I think, yeah. I am not going to have all the information, I'm sorry to say, why. I have gone through an entire day of desktop support, of helping people with PDFs and such. I am not going to be of the best, like, unless I'm building a PC right now, or coming up with a shopping list, probably not going to be your best source of information on computer parts, I'm sorry to say.
Windows 8.
And what's more is, like,
Right.
people get obsessed over, you know, the details of the build when it's not about the build. Like, you can have some really amazing games and they will be in text form, or perhaps some really lo-fi sort of quality. Or you might luck out with Blizzard and Diablo 4 where they make it really fucking optimized compared to, like, all the other triple games that get made. I don't know if people understand just how fucking optimized Diablo 4 has been made. Every other AAA company is saying, oh, you need at least 30, like, you need at least the 3000 or the 4000 series GPUs in order to run our video game and be up to, like, you know, the Gen 11 Intel CPUs or the Ryzen 3 3000 CPUs. Meanwhile, Blizzard with Diablo 4 is like, oh yeah, you can get away with like a 1660 or a 2000 series GPU for the recommended settings. Oh, what's that? What do you need for the CPU? Let's go with the 7000 series or the AMD's like Ryzen 2000 series. It's like AAA industries have been like sitting on their corrals for way too much and either done some dumb illegal shit like what Blizzard and Ubisoft did with sexual harassment and all those kinds of problems, or they've just not improved their craft. And we've been relying on we've been trying to rely on indies to pick up the slack that AAA is meant to give us, but here's the problem. There are like 9,000 plus games released in the indie catalog. Like, indie is too broad of an area to look in. Like, if I asked you to try and watch 9,000 movies in a year, you would think I'm fucking insane. It would not be doable. Even if you, like, watched it at, like, 2 times speed and you went through, like, it would take way too long. So asking the average consumer to be like, oh, you can get good games, you just need to go through 9,000 different entries. It's like, one, a game is probably going to take you a lot longer than 2 or 3 hours to pick up whether you want to keep playing it or if it's a good game or not. Some games take even longer if you look at something like Death Stranding. Like, the whole point of the AAA is that there is pedigree and experience behind it, and they do the marketing work and say, here is what a good game looks like. The average consumer can pick up on that nonsense, and we give our best foot forward. This is the industry standard we are trying to display that the indie industry wants to either rise up to or do better than. If you can't do what we do at AAA, like if you can't do our barest minimum, then, you know, move on or something. Don't games that require recommended specs require 30 series? I only know that The Last of Us requires 3060s at least. Another AAA required is 1080 at recommended. Again, the recommended systems are all like, you know, opted in by the publishers and developers saying what it is. Some games are just, you know, they take way too many resources like The Last of Us Part 1, and that was an unoptimized mess. Meanwhile, Blizzard is optimized up the wazoo, and they're like, oh yeah, 1080 for recommended. It's great. So... but yeah, we're just having make for the Great Wood. All right, we got to go this way, I suppose.
There's a good
Chocobo. All right, can we just go here? Open the world map. Yes, we can. So yeah, like the AAA industry has just been like sitting on their corrals for too long, thinking that, oh, we're AAA. We got the carte blanche for getting people to play our games. It's like, cool. But here's the problem, is that there's now more people than ever who play video games and probably may not have the time to just slog through 100 hours. So you have to put your best foot forward in the first few hours. Thanks for the info. Not to worry. Sorry for the info dump. Like, I don't give a shit about video game specs a lot of the time. So, like... Diablo 4 was like the only time I ever did, and that was because I just through like, you know, exposure, just seeing like, oh, all these games requiring so many specs, and then Diablo 4 is like the tiniest amount that I've seen, and I'm like, what the hell? Why don't all AAA games do this? Unoptimization should be an indie trait.
Outlaws. You want every bounty hunter in Storm harrying us from here?
Would make for some good experience.
Besides, what's wrong with a shortcut through nature's splendor?
Bugs, snakes, poisonous plants, a lot of things, Sid. You didn't really think this through.
Bloodflies and all.
We'll be back in Imperial land soon. You all right?
Never better.
Sounds like it. That there is a fine hound. Soon
He's a good boy.
Like.
It's good to have you back, Torgal.
I want to pet him. Why do you regale me with pets only in cutscenes? It's infuriating. Give me more pets. I demand more pets. Torgal has joined the party and fights alongside Clive. Use the thingamadiggy to switch between the thingamadiggies. Nice. Timely Assistance. The accessory is known as Timely Assistance removes the need for giving Torgal commands. When it's equipped, it will attack and heal automatically based on the current battle situation.
Did I mention?
fuck it. Actually, you know what? This automatic heals thing is a bit too much. So we're gonna get that.
There'll be deadly beasts. There'll be deadly beasts.
Of course there will be deadly
Trained
beasts.
assassin can't handle them.
How reassuring.
You're welcome for that and the shortcut.
And the shortcut. Oh yes, thank you for the shortcut through like fucking dangerous woods where there could be like poisonous snakes and shit. Clearly Sid has never been to Australian outback. At least we're wearing like proper sized boots. So if something does decide to nip at our ankles, we'll be okay.
Maybe they're friendly like Toggle. Or maybe they're not.
Get the all you've got, boy. You know what to do, boy.
There we go.
You know what to do, boy. It's over.
Just kick the dog while it's down. Ooh, yay, I parried that one. And we leveled up. Oh, we didn't get the da 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 dun da dun. It would have been nice if we got it the da 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 dun 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 da dun, but we didn't. All right. The fuck is that? I have no fucking idea.
What in good Grieger's name is he doing this far south?
You know it?
Looking for food. No more wolves where he's from. The north was one of the first parts of Storm to fall to the Blight.
Hmm.
Poor sod. I'd invite him over for a cup of tea if I didn't think he'd eat the dog.
Well, it's my dog, first off. My dog.
Let's try and stay out of its path.
Meow.
Remember when I said that the deadly beasts? Well, the shrubs in these parts are much better.
And you only think to mention this now?
Sick of Toggle! You know what to do, boy. Sick of Toggle! Get him! Sick of Toggle! Get him! Keep your distance, boy.
Well, that's the undergrowth sorted. I'll take it from here.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Any cool secrets? No, there isn't. Alrighty. Moving on. Oh, another cinematic. This game has like quite a lot of like just mid-roll cinematics. I don't know how I feel about this.
Thank you kindly.
Like, granted, they're all in-game renders, but do I really need that? Do I really need all this extra?
The ruins. They're everywhere, aren't they?
Some say there was a time they blocked out the stars. Down was the only way left for them to go. There's probably a lesson to be learned from that. But it can wait. Come on.
Alrighty. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, this way. Okay, this one, thankfully, didn't get another cutscene for there. Sharp fangs. I wonder... We've not yet gotten to a point where it's like, I feel like we could revisit this for grinding. I'm really curious when something like that might come up. Oh, dragon! Or... Nope, it's called a dragon. Hell yeah.
See that? Doesn't have to be a friend of yours, does it?
Not this time.
There we go.
Get him. There, boy.
Don't know if there's like much of an effect of, you know.
There, boy. You know what to do. Sick of Torgal.
There we go.
Keep your distance, boy. Give them all you've got, boy.
There we go. There we go. Ability finisher. That's what I wanted to do. Cool. Another thing for crafting and a lot of sharp talons. This will be useful. I feel like there's going to be a lot of crafting materials. I hope like the crafting is going to be like the thing that's going to be used more than just buying the things, but I do hope for a little bit of exploration.
Keep your eyes open.
And then flies there. Run across here. Pick up things as we go along.
Well, it appears we won't be going this way.
That's better.
Alright, use that.
I'll
Steel.
admit I hadn't counted on that.
Is there like any... Nah. I was wondering if there was like a secret path or something, but like all this looks beautiful, but then there's like, you know... Oh, hello?
At least one of us knows these woods.
I can pet him? Oh my gosh, I can pet him! Yes! Yes! Oh, yes! I want to pet him again. When you trust in your... Why trust in your own animal instincts when you have an actual animal at your side? If you're lost, hold down R3 and let Torgal point in the right direction. Let me pet you again. Let me pet you again. Let me pet you again. I'm gonna pet you again. Let me pet you again. Again. Again!
I feel good, boy.
Aww. He's so cute! Amazing! Alright. Moving on. Grab that. And we keep on going. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we are going this way. Alright. Oh, I was going the right way before. Oh, nope, there it is. That's why. I didn't realize there was a hole in the wall. It's just so cute. He's just so fucking cute.
once, it's not my fault.
Get him! You know what's That's enough. Don't let them get away. Get him, boy. There, boy.
This is stupid. I like wolves.
I don't think they care, Sid. Get him. Keep your distance, boy. Over here. So. Give them all you've got, boy. So. Keep your distance, boy.
We did what had to be done.
Yay. A lot of button mashing then, but I still enjoyed it.
No, it doesn't.
You're very helpful. If anyone likes doing clips, I'd very much appreciate a clip of me when I'm just like absolutely enjoying like petting the dog. It's not a requirement for games, I know, but if you do have a dog in the game, I would very much appreciate petting them. Alrighty, what are we fighting? Oh, we're fighting the spiked armadillo. That's probably not what it's called, but I'm pretty sure that's just a spiked armadillo that's just suddenly made bigger.
That sword sharp.
You'd better hope so.
This shouldn't take too long.
So much for your shortcuts.
Still short, just not quite as quick. It'll be a damn sight quicker if you help me.
My thoughts exactly.
Oh.
Don't let them get away. You know what's going on. Get him.
Ow.
Give them all you've got, boy. You know what to do, boy. Get him. Better already. Keep your distance, boy.
Oop.
Over here. Get him. Get him, boy. Sick of Torgal. Too slow.
Is there a way for me to... Oh, yeah, there is. Cool.
Get them all. Over here. You know what to do, boy. Get him, boy. Sick of Torgal. Get him, boy.
Aye, someone's got you. Where he stops, no one knows.
Sick him, Torgal. You know what to do, boy.
I doubt he'll do that again.
Not if we kill him first. Don't let them get away. Get him.
Over here. You know what to do, boy. Don't let them get away. Over here.
Yes! And did the icon swipey thingy-madiggy at the end, so still an awesome fucking thingy-madoogs. Yep, more crafting, sounds good to me.
Come on. Stand back.
Oh, cool. His limit break. Just snaps his fingers and fucking nukes him. Would have been nice if he did that sooner. Would have been very nice.
You're dominant.
I am. Aye. Well, not by choice, mind. Whole bloody realm of strapping young lads. And it was this sorry sack of bones Ramu saw fit to home.
Hmm. Obviously, he doesn't appreciate it.
Sid. You say you want to help dominants and bearers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's in it for you?
What's in it for me? The same as for all of us. What we want and deserve. Save for our knack, dominants and bearers are no different from anyone else. The ability to use magic or summon great beasts should command respect, but instead has left us outcasts. Our kind are used and discarded like tools, yet we are men, so why must we die as less?
I see. So what you're saying is you want to start a war.
He wants to start a revolution, not a war, but sure.
You flatter me, lad. But my days as a firebrand are long behind me. No, I only wish to offer our kind a choice. A place where we can die on our own terms. Okay?
Alrighty then. Moving on. Actually, hang on. Is there anything we can grab in here? We can pet you again, though. Let's pet the dog again. Lol. We can give him a little treat. Excellent. Dun, dun, dun. Cookie for the bun, the royal bunny. Here's your cookie. Welcome to the stream. How's it going?
What do you think?
We're going through Final Fantasy 6. This is the proper Final Fantasy 16 as well. This isn't a what's-a-mahoozy demo. This is the actual game. I'm enjoying it. And check this out. You can pet the dog. He's so cute. I want to do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Yeah, he likes it so much. How is your evening going?
Over here. You know what to do. It's over. Sick of Torgal. There, boy. Get him. You know what to do.
Stupid hornets. Well, we got rid of him, so that's going for us.
Sick of Torgal. There, boy. Get him, boy. Give all you got, boy. That's enough.
Mm-hmm. All right. Alright, nothing new. Yay, and another level up. Alright, more health, a higher attack, better defense. Sounds good to me.
We follow her upstream and we'll be in Lost Wing in no time.
In no time. Right.
The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is this game's utilization of motion blur. I don't appreciate games that do this. Like, it feels... I don't need that when I'm spinning the thing around. I don't need you to, you know, make it fuzzier. My eyes will make it fuzzier already.
Get him!
Magic Ash. Sharp Fangs. Anything else up here?
Sick of Torgal! Get him! Over here. Don't let them get away. Sick of Torgal.
I don't know if they expected me to fall off this. Can I just run away from fights? Is that a thing? I wonder if that's a thing, just running away from fights. Meow. Nope, not that way. Because, yeah, we were going up this way. Already, I have already gotten myself lost in this map.
Keep your distance, boy. Get him. You know what? Sick of Torgal. Get him. You know what? Get him, boy. Over here. Sick of Torgal.
There we go. I was hoping to do like a better finisher than that, but I guess we don't get that allowance. Ooh, but I can pick up this. Alrighty, and then... Damn it. There we go. So it is going this way. Hopefully we get to town in time. Be very, very quiet. Oh, Ironblood. Again.
Royal Scout.
Or that person.
Someone's far from home.
Let's follow him.
Bonk!
Ow, why'd you bonk me for, boy? What's the bonk for? I did nothing wrong. I don't know what I did wrong, but it was nothing. I'm not apologizing for anything. Nothing at all.
And?
Oh, it's her.
They're just down that way. All of them. Grieger's my witness.
Excellent.
Hey, he told you what you needed to know.
I don't understand. Have I not?
No, not the lever. Oh no. Why do I even have that lever anymore?
It's true my liege values loyalty above all else. But were you not quick to betray your countrymen for the promise of coin?
Wow. How unfair. This is why people don't want to break promises when it comes to prisoner exchanges. What?
That woman.
Benedicta Harmon, commander of Waloed's elite intelligences. If we can capture her.
We're not likely to.
You! Weapons on the ground, Imperials!
Well, at least she's not there with them, so we can have our little fight.
Let's get this over with then.
Alright, who do I need to worry about? Probably the big...
But I'll leave you on the wind!
Ah!
Get him! There, boy! You know what to do. Don't let them get away. Sick of talking. Get him. Over here.
Oop. Do I get a cinematic slice? Yep, cinematic clash. Whenever it flashes orange like this during a pivotal moment, repeatedly tap square to either press or fend off an attack. Yep, it's repeatedly tap.
Behind you.
Oh, again.
this time.
Get him, boy! It's over. And now...
Oh, that was his move that did that. Oh. Oh, clashing time.
Not this time.
Cinematic clash. Dun, 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 dun. There we go, and we got ourselves a lot of coin. We got ourselves a badge of might, some steel silk. Excellent. We got ourselves some cool stuff. Get shit on.
Imperials.
Well, you're dressed up like one.
Though you fight like a true shield of Rosaria, and one blessed by the Phoenix at that. Speaking of which, I wonder, does the other icon of fire give blessings, do you think?
You don't
know.
Me.
And lo, the Creator did make of the elements 8 icons to serve as keepers of the one law. Not that I've ever set too much store by holy doctrine, but on that point, it's clear. Fire has always had just the one warden, as of all the rest. A new one can't be born until the previous dies, and even that can take years. The thing is, you don't strike me as a liar. Which leaves but one person who might be able to shed some light on the matter. And they're in Lost Swing. As are our Waluda friends, I would imagine. We should hurry before it gets dark.
Alrighty.
But what if someone discovers the bodies?
Well, and they'll be sorely disappointed.
Because we looted them, and we got all the important shit, like gold, and maybe any weapons that are worthwhile keeping. Stage replay and arcade mode are now available. Enter the visual for details on each of the new options. Nice! I'm guessing arcade mode is so then that way we can, like, revisit other places or something or rather to travel. Fanning the embers. Alright. Next spot. Sometime later, the Holy Empire of Sambrigui.
So much for arriving before sunset.
Oh, I didn't realize we were this close.
He was just meaning the other
Idea what that
sunset.
is they built the village around.
The fallen ruin. I've heard some call it an airship. Though its flying days seem to be behind it. It's a shame, that.
I bet you would get a
Truly
flying
think
ship.
that Dominant's waiting for us in that village.
My scout has never given me any reason to doubt him. Which is why I think we should hurry. Come on.
Attuning with an obelisk allows class to travel quickly to the location via both the world map and the local. You only need to approach it to attune to it. Oh, similar to the Aetherites. Louder than words. Louder than words!
This isn't the first time I've seen one of these. Perhaps I can use them as waymarks.
Most likely. What's up here?
You know what to do, boy. There, boy!
Awesome. Then we pick up this thing. Just running through the grapes, no big deal. There's actually wires between these, so we wouldn't normally be able to do this, by the by.
Over here.
It's an RPG. You're going to need to, like, explore off the beaten path. Because there could be something interesting. You never know.
Give them all you've got, boy. It's over.
Alrighty. Anything of interest? Nope. Alrighty, moving on.
Figures up ahead.
But are they friends or foes?
Oh, that was cool. Bonk, 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 and we level up once more. we're probably going to be leveling up a few times in this game.
More Waluders. Why? What is it they want?
You're welcome to ask the next ones we meet. Let me know how it goes.
Will do. What to do if you want to kill yourself? Demon? Probably come up with a better opening line than that, I'm sorry to say. Not a great first impression, I'm sorry. Let's try this again. Hi. I'm Grant. I'm a bit of a himbo. Hi there, Demon Cobra Real. Welcome to the stream. I am currently going through Final Fantasy 16 right now on the PlayStation 5. Have you played any of the other Final Fantasy games?
Even for this hour.
What do we do now?
Cobra. Alrighty then, Cobra. Have you played any of the other Final Fantasy games? No? Damn. Well, you're gonna have about as much knowledge about the Final Fantasy as I will. Well, that's actually not true. I have done a little bit of Final Fantasy 14, so I'm able to use like a little bit of that knowledge to help me with this. But that's an MMO, not an RPG. And this one is like very action orientated from what I've been playing, you know, what I know of Final Fantasy previously. Because I'm fairly sure Final Fantasy was meant to be like Pokemon-like. Cobra, thank you for the follow. You played God of War. Ooh! Are you talking about like God of War from like the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 era? Like, you know, the classic, like just, you know, beat 'em up, doing all kinds of stuff and a little bit of puzzle making? Or are you talking about the more modern God of War that went off in 2017? That's when I got into God of War.
This can't be completely abandoned.
Nice. So you're both? Nice. I personally like the earlier what's-mahoozies. I personally like the 2017, sorry, not the earlier games. I've not played the earlier games, like, but I do have God of War 3, I want to say. Like,
that sounds like a child.
All right, we got to go talk to a child. We are probably going to get betrayed by this sniveling brat, but let's see how it goes. Hello.
It's all right. I'm not one of them. My friend and I, we're with the Imperial Army, and we've come to help. Do you know where your parents are?
In the church.
So I'm going to find them and make sure they're safe. Can you stay hidden here until then?
Nice. People, finally, someone in chat who agrees with me. Everyone gives me shit for my takes. Everyone gives me shit for my nonsense. My most recent one is American pizza is just better than Italian. If your favorite pizza has any meat on it, you are lying to me if the Italian pizza is better, okay? Because no Italian pizza is meant to have meat. Italian pizzas are just a salad with a bread underneath it. That's all the Italian pizza has ever been. It's only when it got to America and we started putting it in more cheese and meats, and then the Canadians did their pineapple, and then some people did anchovies. Like, it's only once it hit America and it started getting American and bastardized did we actually start getting good pizza. It was fucking amazing. But no, Grant, you're speaking... This is some very disruptive behavior. Italian pizza is the best. It's like, no, because they don't put meat on their thing. I know exactly what I'm about. What's going on?
This man's gonna die if we don't get into a healer.
Enough of your barking, dog!
Alright.
About time.
Stand back.
When can I get that kind of power?
Clive!
Thought you weren't coming.
You still alive, Gav?
Barely.
Sup, Gav?
Been doing what I can for the villagers, but...
I thought you were joking.
It's all right. He's with me. Is this everyone?
No, there were others. A pair of royalists came for the bearers just before you arrived.
Was a dominant among them?
Maybe. It's not like he was holding a sign.
Hey, Panda. Hi, welcome. We're going through some Final Fantasy 16. Have you played any of the previous Final Fantasies?
Clive, after it.
What, Sid? Sounding Welsh. He just like me. For real. Okay, now I have to chase after this man. Is there like a sprint button? Not really a game you like? Fair enough. This one's a bit different from... Because I know Final Fantasy was meant to be like turn-based RPG, but for some reason they've not done that since like Final Fantasy X. Or even like, I think earlier since then.
Any word from the scouts?
Not yet, my lady, but we have the Dominant's companion. It's only a matter of time before we seize our quarry.
Very good. And what of the others?
The bearers have been taken to Caer Novent.
Some may still be worth keeping should the Dominant elude us.
All is in hand, my lady. They will not be spoiled. I give you my word. Gentlemen, a toast! Will you join me?
Welsh boys!
To Our Lady of the Wind and the King!
Wee.
Ugh. Imperials drink this piss?
Well, it would go some way to explain their breath.
Lady Benedicta! Imperials!
Alright, time to fight some people. Clearly they're from Wales. What Welshman isn't from Wales?
And instead of
Wait,
killing them, you lead the rats
Welshman or Welsh woman or Welsh person? I'm sorry, but I'm from the South. That has some very negative connotation in my brain. I'm from the South.
Good. I was getting bored.
All right, now we gotta go fight this woman. She's probably gonna kick our ass, isn't she? Oh, it's one of Garuda's thingy-madiggies. Welsh lady. Sheesh.
What is that?
It's always worth checking.
This means what I think it does. Sid has some explaining to do.
Why didn't that? Okay. Nope. Did not plan that right.
You better be on your way, Sid.
There we go. Staggered her.
Sick of Torgal. Don't let them get away. Get him. There, boy.
Okay, is that like an unblockable thing? Okay, I'm guessing this is Garuda, or at least like a spawn of Garuda or something or rather. Yes! And an ability finisher. There we go. Chirada. So, are you real or AI? I don't know how I feel about such an insult. Wizard Wing, thank you for the follow. What makes you think I'm an AI? Jesus. I can't, like, hang on a sec. Maybe if I move the camera to here? No. What if I move the camera to here? Nope, that puts me off to the side. Hi, Wizard King. Cookie for Sky. Hang on, I need to zoom out now. Hang on. Where's my buttons? Button. Cookie's gone. VTuber. No. Man, how? Ooh, to you too. But man, what? No, I'm not AI. I'm like a person. There's a man behind this muscle and zebra. Like, that's AUS. That's not AI. AUS means Australia. Like, what the hell, dude? All right, wait, what's this? Cleric's Medallion. Increases potency of... Yep, cool. Used in crafting, using crafting, using crafting. Hey, AI. Wait, sorry, not hey, AI. Hey, Wizard. Do I look like AI to you?
You've got some fight in you, even for a branded.
Clive!
Oh, you don't you feel fucking comedic, don't you?
Is this how you recruit all of your charges?
Don't recall you complaining, Benedicta.
So, Sidolphus, remind me, why was it that you betrayed your kingdom?
Because no man was equal.
I asked you a question, Lord Commander.
Why? Because I'd had enough of you and your king's antics.
And yet here you are, stealing my branded. What are you plotting?
As if I'd tell you.
These two have wanted to fuck. These two have wanted to fuck.
Benedicta, we have secured the dominant.
What accent is that? We've had a mixture of, like, you know, Sid being Welsh, her doing whatever kind of accent, and wait, why? When did he suddenly come along? Oh yeah, he was with Sid.
And she's gone.
All right, well, he'll figure it out. The bromance is strong.
Did she say where she was going?
The bromance is now, like, stronger than ever. We've moved on from Final Fantasy 15, where it was 4 dudes on a road trip as their best friend goes and gets married to a lady. Now it's 2 dudes in a forest. 2 brothers running away from a meteorite, and then they get into a car, and then they have to fight ninjas. 2 brothers. Did anyone watch Rick and Morty? Am I ever going to do a face reveal? 10,000 subscribers. You think I'm joking? But, you know, some people have probably seen me at Furdu and such like that, but that's normally because I can't just wear a fursuit the entire time I'm at a convention. And what's more is, you know, I don't really have I'm not like, you know, big popular enough to be able to just, you know, hide behind a fursuit head or only ever communicate with people, you know, via the VTuber. But if you ever want to see this face, the face behind the zebra, on stream and VODed and clipped and shit, it is going to cost you approximately 10,000 subscribers. I know that number will never happen. I don't think we even have, like, you know, streamers in the current economy with 10,000 subs, but that's my price. 2 dudes chilling in a forest. Oh wait, no, that you're not going with that meme. You're going with the hot tub one. 2 dudes chilling in a forest, 5 feet apart because they're not gay. Do you know, apparently the person that did that Vine of the 2 dudes chilling in a hot tub, 5 feet apart because they're not gay, that was apparently done by, that's Ian. No, Padian. I thought it was done by Anthony, not Ian. Or unless I'm thinking, good morning, furry Qers. The other one. The other. It's not like oh yeah, they're back together.
Demon Cabrerial thinks you should do 20 squats.
Ah, well, you gotta hit me with the squats. We were having a great time. You got them suddenly confused. Ah, yes, they joined together again in Smosh. So we gotta confuse Ian and Anthony. 2 dudes chilling in a forest, 5 feet apart because they're not gay. All right, here we go. Big stretch. Big stretch. Big stretch. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. Thank you for the 20 squats. Wait, they're back? Yes! Have you not? Hang on. Hang on. Let me tell you something. Drop you over there. Alrighty. Bust a nut. Why is it not showing my opera? Hang on. It's not showing opera anymore. Here we go. Look at this. Wizard. Observe.
So, in 2005, Anthony and I created this channel. Resonated with
Cookie for who wanted the cookie? Cookie for Cobra. Here you go. But yeah, they bought Smosh back. They're now gonna like work together again. It's gonna be incredible. Quit opera. So yeah, shit's about to go down.
They were looking for a dominant.
Yeah, that's right.
And Furry Cure sub is now.
Demon Cobrarial wants you to save your work.
Oh, actually, I do need to disable that. I am so sorry. While I am fixing my streamer bot, bad news, Furry Cures. You no longer have access to my subs, and you have to deal with advertisements such as this. Wait, did the advertisement play? Yeah. All right, now I need a ding, dong, ding. Ding. It's funny! Mark is complete. Reject. Refund you on that. Dun, 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 dun.
My day be
so fine. Then boom. Horny. My day do be so fine. I did the advertisement there just to, hey, no, give me my shirt back. Give me, no, damn it, fuck. Give me my shirt back. Furry Cures. Give me, no, shit, hang on. I need to cover up that nip as well. Hang on. Furry Cures. Give me my shirt back. I demand my shirt back. What are you doing with it? Give it back. Cookie for Demon Core. Oh, shit, hang on. My cookie. I need it. I can use 2 hands. There we go. All right, so now I just need to hold my hands like very quickly. So I just need to hold my hands here and not... Cookie for Demon Coral. Stop asking for cookies. Oh, jeez, fuck. All right, we're gonna distract you with video games. Video game distractions. Here we go.
Like that under our roof. No offense.
When no one talked, they started rounding up everyone with a brand. And then everyone without one and all.
And locked you in the cellar, hoping sooner or later someone will break. You know, things might have been different if you'd accepted my invitation.
Oh, don't remind us. We were all saying the same thing.
This is our home, innit? Don't mean we won't out when we can, though.
And that, I'll drink to.
Nice. You don't distract the peck parasites. You're coming for them. No, don't go after my pecks and my biddies. Also, what's up with my? There we go.
100 full legions the young dragoon led, and watched as a million foes turned tail and fled. His lance levels mountains, it sanders the
Bro's biddies are bigger than his head. It's called character design. Thank you very much. You can thank Wolk.
Revenge won't bring him back. It won't.
Oop, shit.
13 years ago, I watched a dominant kill my brother right in front of me. And I did nothing.
You were a kid. You couldn't really do much.
I can kill the son of a bitch and bring peace to my brother's soul.
I do have like a follower goal, actually, Cobra. Like, hang on. Fuck it. You can, look, titties. There you go. All right. Hang on. Nope. Wrong thing. Nope. Wrong thing. Nope. Wrong thing. Nope. 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 Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Twitch. No, wrong Twitch. That's the wrong Twitch goal. But I have I want to try and get to 1,000 followers before the end of the month. I've been doing this for. I've been doing this for 2 years now as an affiliate. I've been at it for a whiles.
Well, Bahamut may lead 100 full legions. Could it be that the young prince defends a house of cards ready to topple at the slightest breeze? Tell me something. Why do you not resist? Within you lies the power to slay gods. The phoenix perished in your flames. Yet you do not fight. You do not flee. You refuse your gift. Perhaps you are distracted.
Can you clip the moment? Yeah, you can clip the moment. Clips help me out, believe it or not. It means I then have short form content of my streams that I can distribute to TikTok and YouTube.
Join us and you will be treated with the respect one of our kind deserves.
Ooh. Not good, not good, not good.
Lord Margrace, don't!
That's gonna be a very annoying stab wound.
I'll give you a moment to consider your options.
And she's not even gonna clean the blade? Like, how disrespectful.
With them.
How disrespectful. Spectful. Yay, I got my shirt back. And probably wouldn't have seen this earlier, Cobra, but I can change my shirt. So I have like a fun little button, and because Photoshop is my passion, I can change this is my normal shirt.
Wake up. Gav's back.
But then for Final Fantasy, I wear a Cactar shirt because Cactars. I like it.
One of the Empire's outlying strongholds, though apparently not strong enough to keep out the Royalists.
The captured bearers are inside. I'm sure of it.
If Benedicta's orders are to stay in the shadows, she won't be traveling with many men. Meaning, she'll be keeping her prisoners together and close by.
Including the Dominant.
So, we find a way into the fortress and conjure a bit of chaos.
Chaos!
What about me?
Excellent question, Gav. You will wait outside the care and guide those I free to safety.
And miss all the fun. Why can't he do that?
Because he's blessed.
He'd stumble off a cliff before he even found the men. Come on, Gav. You're the best man for the job.
Well, when you put it that way. Suppose I better scout ahead for any surprises. Don't you let him down.
Wow.
I won't.
The disrespect.
Right. Shall we?
Not so fast. We wait until tomorrow.
But he's right there.
And if we leave now, we'll arrive just as the sun comes up. Maybe join the guards in breaking their fast. Come on, Clyde. They only just took the place. They'll be there a while yet. We've got one chance at this. You don't want to waste it, do you?
No.
In the dead of night. Alright, here we go. As the story progresses, new weapons and items will become available at the Hideaway's trading post, Charon's Toll, as will new forging recipes.
Settled. There's someone I want you to meet.
At this hour?
He's the owner of the tavern, and our best hope of getting a decent night's kip.
You haven't much, but you're free to look.
Nice. Oh, that costs a lot of money. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, clearly we'll somehow get 40,000 gold at some point. Is that my favorite zebra? Hi, Leon. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Hugs. Hugs. Come here. Exclamation point hugs. Yeah! Exclamation point hugs. Thank you. All right, so we got to go talk to a man named Quinten. Ooh, hello. What do you got there? Oh, never mind. We're going into a cutscene.
It seems we'll be spending the night.
I thought as much. Where do you find that one?
What, him? You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Imperial nonsense.
Gwynson here is an old friend.
Don't make me send you to Jesus myself.
Sympathetic. And he knows about your little sanctuary. I would never have guessed so many people were bent on setting us free. When last I checked, the mere thought would earn you a trip to the gallows.
I am well aware of the risks, as I am of the rewards.
Huh.
And what could be more rewarding than your very own dominant of fire?
A dominant? Here? Now that I would like to see.
Meaning you haven't?
No, but nothing passes unnoticed in Lost Wing. Take your brand, for example.
I watched playthroughs of The Last of Us.
And I need hardly tell you how they will greet the inquiries of a bearer.
It's been a couple of weeks. Time speeds by when you're having a good summer. Hey, at least you're having a good summer. It's getting into winter here. I had to wake up in 6 degrees Celsius weather and get to the train. The series? Yeah, so multiple ways you can go through The Last of Us. There's The Last of Us, The Last of Us Part 2, and The Last of Us TV show.
As a favor to Sid, that is.
So I watched gameplay of The Last of Us Part 1, and I think I played The Last of Us 2.
It has the uncanny power to loosen
I think. Yes, I played the last. No.
May the mothers guide you.
I think I've played both. I can't remember if I played the first one. I definitely played the second one. I had my look, because here's the thing. The Last of Us is a very, like, just, you know, by the rails, you know, you go through your cinematics and such like that, and that's where you're having, like, most of your development. You might have, like, a little bit of development in the gameplay itself, but, you know, most of your gameplay is kill people, do a puzzle because Ellie can't get to where you need to go. So the first one, I don't have, like, a 100% memory if I actually played through that, but because, you know, I've seen playthroughs of it like before I played it, and I might have played it on the PlayStation when the remaster was available for me on the PlayStation 5. I did, however, play The Last of Us Part 2. Pretty sure I did that before streaming, though, so I don't think anyone's seen me play it. I'm gonna be real. I had my annoyances about The Last of Us. And then someone was able to sort of, like, you know, tell it like it is, which is the fact that there's just too much going on. And my personal pet peeve is we already had a good, like, Sony video game that came out in 2017 that told us, hey, maybe revenge is not exactly a really good idea to go through, as you can most likely, you know, deal with some problems, you know, a little bit more, you know, constructively than just killing someone. Fun fact, God of War. God of War, like the one from 2017, that one did a much better job in the whole revenge is bad. Like The Last of Us, the part 2, at the, like, very much so, I feel like it could have been a really good movie where you could have had the whole, and you could have done it maybe like Memento, where it was like, you know, you had your opening thingy-majiggy of spoilers, Ellie watching Joel die, and then you have day one of Ellie getting into Seattle. And then at the end of Ellie's day one, you then jump over to Abby for her day one. You jump back to Ellie for day two. You jump to Abby for day two. And then you go back and forth. Because here's the thing. Only until, like, the third day is Abby remotely aware that Ellie is in Seattle and is trying to kill her. We have an entirely different plot going off with Abby, which is Abby just reconciling with the fact that her revenge did nothing to help the pain that she was having with the death of her father. And it was only until she saw the Whistlers, or that
Demon
she dealt...
Cobrarial paid me to say when it goes to personal, and I lost on 20th word.
When it goes to personal and you lost on... Huh? I don't know what that meant. Any whoosies. Like, I'm all for telling us I lost what you were speaking. I was probably just like, I do that. I do the whole, like, you know, speaking about going on weird tangents and shit like that. It might be, I might need to fix my mic if it's an actual, like, you know, blurting out things issue, or if I'm just talking too fast. Huh.
But how?
You don't need to worry about that just yet.
But yeah, as much as I like, you know, revenge is bad plot lines,
What it means if they don't take note.
if I'm gonna lose fingers in a fist fight, I'm going to go to the very bitter end, okay?
Your choice.
I think the only, like, the game would have to redeem itself, not through, you know, redoing, like, the storyline of, like, oh, instead of doing, like, 1, 2, 3 days with Ellie and then jumping back to Abby 1, 2, 3 days, what they should have done is, with the ending, you make it so that Abby and Ellie, they get on the boat, they run away from the slavers and such, and you have, what's her name? Hang on, what's their name?
Could get a good look under that hood of his.
Give me a mo. What is the name of the person with Abby? What is their name? Give me a second. Lev. That's it. So, what they should have had is Abby, Ellie, and Lev. They get on the boat, and Ellie very much does not want to deal with the raiders and all that kind of, and the slavers and such, so she helps Abby and Lev get onto the boat. She gets in the boat with them as well, because adrenaline's pumping. They just need to get out of there. She gets out of there. It's foggy as fuck. Abby stops the engine and says, like, we'll more likely crash, Ash, if we don't wait for this to subside. I don't think they're following us. She doesn't hear any other engines. Ellie, finally calming down, realizes the scenario that she's in right now. Lev is unconscious. Abby is too tired. They're on a boat, alone. There's nothing between them, and she could very well just, you know, kill Abby there. It's there that you can... Who's Abby? Abby's the woman from The Last of Us Part 2. At least that's what I believe her name is. Am I getting that wrong entirely? Like, hang on. Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, her name is Abby Anderson. Yeah, I was wondering for a second. Yeah, it's Abby. So, you got him on a boat. Ellie has a gun or a knife and is ready to just kill Abby right there, but is still hesitant because of, you know, this melancholy that she has about, you know, Joel doing basically the exact same sort of thing she would have done of, like, you know, throwing logic out of the window just for the emotional feeling. Abby very much is way too tired for this, but she knows exactly what Ellie is trying to do, and it's just sort of like, look, it took me, like, days to get to this conclusion, or it took me months to get to this conclusion, but you're not going to feel any better. And I'm not sorry for killing Joel. He killed my father. Or something or other. And this is the moment where you have Abby and Ellie, rather than doing like a fucking fist fight that Ellie forced Abby to do and lost, idiot, rather than having them do a fist fight, very gameplay, granted, you have them just have this, like, you know, just moment where there's really nothing else that's stopping Ellie besides Abby talking to her and just giving her this catharsis moment of, nothing I did has helped with my trauma or with my revenge. You are going to have the exact same thing. I am tired. I don't give a shit. Just leave Lev alone. doesn't need any of this nonsense from you. And, you know, Ellie has this moment where she could go and kill Abby and deal with Lev later on and, you know, blood on her hands and such, and then make her way. And it's there that you, like, leave it at, you know, we don't know what happened to Abby and Lev. You just cut to black. We have no clue about it at all. You just see her back at the farm that she was with her girlfriend. I can't remember her name. And it's there that it's like, oh, she's not there. And you keep that plot line of, oh, she's not there anymore. So it's just Ellie alone in this house. And she's just, you know, trying to strum the guitar, and she's, you know, not physically unable to because she's missing the fingers, but just, you know, she can't bring herself to doing it. You would still get the same catharsis moment of Abby does not feel better after everything she has done in California, and she just wants to cry, and she just wants to feel her emotions for the first time in months.
Ah, Master Quinton took a liking to you, I see. And there I was, thinking you were in bed with Sid. Wonder what Gav will have to say about this, if you see him.
I'm searching for a dominant of fire.
We see a lot bearers around these parts. Now, whether or not that makes him a dominant, I can't say.
Did you get a look at him?
Didn't have a chance.
Thank you.
Have I played Payday 2? Yeah, I did. I played a lot of it, actually. I was trying to get the 13 achievements I needed to have done, so then that way, when I completed the game and did the White House mission, I'd get the quote-unquote true ending. The one with all the sci-fi alien nonsense. But I never got that done.
That a hanged man, I see. Master Quentin must think you're important. It was a good thing you done today. If you hadn't come when you did, I'd be on my way.
These others. Was that...
Might have been, yeah. A thin bloke all swallowed up in his robes like one of...
Do you recall anything else?
Only that you include in the church. And we're...
I see.
Alrighty.
I wonder if Sid's found anything.
What means geek? What is with the 20Q? You good? I don't know how to give you the definition of geek. I'd say that the difference between a geek and a nerd is a geek is just a fan of the popular culture, whereas a nerd is extensively knowledgeable in one of the features that, you know, pop culture likes to parody.
Any friend of the innkeeper is a friend of mine.
So, for instance, a nerd is very deeply knowledgeable about the Warhammer universe, how to play the mechanics, and might have like some knowledge about some of the background stuff, like the theories of how the God Emperor might actually become a Chaos Lord of Order. Sorry, not a Chaos Lord, or a Chaos God. So they might become a Chaos God of Justice or something. Meanwhile, or, you know, why the orcs are the ones that are making the world go round and round. So a geek, meanwhile, you know, they're just a fan of Warhammer content that's most recently being pushed. That's the way I would describe, like, the difference between a geek and a nerd. Okay.
You're always welcome here in Lostwing.
Alrighty, Sid, talk to me.
Tell me that scowl means you've got good news. So, a shady lad with a hood, and his equally shady lass. Not much to go on, but... I've been thinking, if our friend is a dominant, why not just burn the royalists to a crisp? There's a reason he's holding back, and I reckon he has something to do with his partner.
What makes you say that?
One of the villagers I talked to said the two were separated. If the Waluders have her, our dominants like to think twice before starting the fight. Whoever he is, he's shown himself to have a level head. He's careful, cunning, and he doesn't want to be found. For us and the royalists both.
Not really much I can do in a cutscene, but this.
It'll be a whole lot worse if we set off after them with bleary-eyed and empty bellies. There should be a pair of pallets waiting for us back at the inn. Shall we?
Alright, cool. So talk to Sid. Party makeup has changed. Why are we talking to Quentin again?
Now,
Boy, there.
about those beds.
Beds.
I seem to recall your request being to spend the night. And for that, the floor will more than suffice.
You son of a bitch, you know exactly what we wanted. Don't be genieing this.
My thanks, Quentin. Next time you're at the hideaway, our floor's all
Thank you.
yours.
No need.
Sometimes I'm funny on purpose.
This isn't an act of charity.
You don't say.
In exchange for my floor, I shall be requiring your services. The Royalists saw fit to erect a barricade across the road south when they occupied the village, and failed to remove it when they left. I expect it to be gone before you leave.
As you wish.
We have to deal with a fence. Oh no. A fence.
Well,
today's
that's
Thursday.
longer than expected. First time dismantling the barricade?
Oh wait, no, you're in a different country. No, wait, today is Thursday for you, Leon.
If we leave now, we'll arrive at the care when the shadows are at the deepest. Unless you'd rather wait.
No more waiting.
It's something else.
Unless...
I know of another shortcut.
Ooh. Oh, that's cool. I can, like, do thingamadiggies with him. Okay. Journal. Is there, like, something else? No. Okay, there isn't any side quests. He just wants...
You should be so lucky.
What days for you, Zeebs? Today is Thursday. Today's 1 year since you met Zeebs. Wait, you haven't seen like, I swear you've seen Z's longer than me. Like, I'm fairly sure Z has been doing streaming like about as long as I have. You must have met Z longer than a year ago, right? For those who may not be knowing who the hell Leon is talking about, they're talking about Scribbly Noodle. They are a Scribbly Noodle. They're an Australian VTuber as well. Hopefully I typed their name incorrectly. Did that work? Hello? Are you working? Why aren't you working? Queues. Previous queues. Weird. Shout out. Scribbly Noodle. Come on. There we go. Scribbly Noodle. They are an Australian VTuber as well. They're an artist, so a lot of their streams are them, you know, working on art and such like that. So I first saw them, I swear it was like 2 years ago. You have the tweet from the day you first walked in on their stream. Ah, nice. So yeah, so I swear I've seen them like 2 years ago at the very least. Maybe I'm wrong, because any whoosies, they're a cool Australian VTuber as well, and they do like art and such. They're a lot better at the arts than I am. So, because, you know, they properly do it. Wait, am I going the right? No, I'm not, but that's okay. I want to see where this... Oh, wait, no, this goes to the courtyard we were in before, doesn't it? You've known for 3 to 4, but being friends like a year. Oh, okay. Nice! Well, that's cool. You went from, like, you know, knowing them to being friends with them. That's really cool. Oh, hang on. Wait, can I just teleport here? Yep. Cool. Awesome. I can reverse all the damages of me going the wrong way. Oh, no, you've known me for 3 to 4 months. Wait, really? That's it? I swear you've known me. Like, back on your previous account, I swear you've known me for longer. I'm really bad with the passage of time. 2020 has really... 2020 has, like, really fucked up with my brain in terms of trying to process the length of time. I did not see it. I have a very hard time processing time ever since 2020. Like, somehow I just have chronal displacement or something. I don't know. You met me through Pan. Ooh! Ooh! That is really wrinkling my brain. That is really okay, because I'm really bad at remembering names and faces and shit. Actually, to be fair, Leon, I've probably, like, forgotten you several times. Like, no joke, probably several times. And I probably forgot Thorin several times. I don't think I've forgotten Savage that much, but I have definitely forgotten you several times. Damn, I'm just terrible at remembering peeps, aren't I? Unapologetically just gone, yes. Grant, you're a himbo. You're an idiot. You're a downright stupid head. You forget people. How can we be friends if you can't remember my name? Happy time zones to you, Zapper. Welcome to the stream. You knew me before the Twitch days. Well, yeah, no. If you knew me from Pan's server, then you've definitely known me before my years in Twitch. The question is would you have known me before the 3D model? Because I think I had the 3D model for about 6 months. No, actually, no, hang on, because you've known me for 3 to 4 years, so you've definitely seen me before the 3D model then. Because, yeah, I've only had the 3D model for 2 years. The skinny zebra ages. Oh my goodness, you've been there for a while then. Alright, dog.
Told you.
Get him, boy!
There we go.
It's over.
Nice. Alright, grab all that stuff.
What are the royalists thinking?
I can give some unconditional love sometimes. With conditions.
The king is up to something.
The king?
Well, you don't think they're acting on a whim, do you? This is one of His Majesty's cunning stunts, and he sent his best to execute it.
There they are!
That's all I call the rest.
Ladies, there, boy! Sick of Toggle! Stay down! It's over! You know what to do, boy. There, boy. You know what to do. Get him.
There we go.
Tell your lady you try.
Pick up some stuff. You're always happy to know me? Yay! No, I don't play Minecraft. I love how I just answered that and the question comes up a third time. Yeah, I didn't see it first time. Yeah, I didn't see it the second time, just as he answered. Maybe the third time.
It's a crack even when it isn't crawling with royalists.
I don't care who else.
Yeah, why is... Hang on, why is there like just a sudden dead end on the other side? Come on. BRB, gonna make some breakfast? Not to worry. Wait, what time is it? Oh, it's past 9 o'clock. I need to think about ending the stream at some point. I have work the next day. I unfortunately do not get the benefit of just, you know, playing video games each and every day. Well, technically I do play video games every day, but that's at the end of the day. So it's more like every night I might play video games. I don't get to do the video game streaming thingamadiggy as full time. I've done the math. I would need approximately 5,000 subscribers a month to help, you know, facilitate my streaming and, you know, have it take on any lost revenue of not working. Yeah, time zones are a fun thing, Cobra. I am currently in Australia.
You know what's up, boy. Sick of trouble. Don't let them get away.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. More of that. Drink the potion to full heal. You're currently in Croatia? Hey, nice! Wait, where's Croatia? That's... I once made the mistake of thinking Croatia was like in Canada, but that's not Croatia. That's Quebec. That's entirely different.
Much as I enjoy battering down the front door, I hazard this endeavour will require a bit more tact.
There's an old sluice that empties under the bridge. It should see us through to the lower levels of the care.
Nice.
Sid. We both know why I'm here. But what is it that you want?
Who
Why would you
knows?
risk your life for a handful of outcasts? If anyone ever learned what you've been doing with their property...
They'd have my head in a box. But this isn't just about dominance and bearers, it's about all of us. What I want is to build a place...
You have a good night. Not to worry, Leon. Thank you for dropping in real quick.
But our world isn't ready for a place like that. So, until it is, I use the power I've been given to show people there is hope.
Interesting. It's right from Italia. Opposite of left, Italia. I'm not really great with maps, so this is going to be a very fun time if I ever have to like go through a stream and try and name as many countries as I can across the European continent, or the Eurasia continent.
So, tell me about this, Benedicta.
The best and worst decision I ever made.
What did you do? You fucked her, didn't you?
Don't underestimate her, Clive. A fight with her icon is not one you're likely to walk away from.
Garuda. Warden of the Wind.
Hey.
Hmm?
Gotta run in, do our business. All right. Oh, I can just travel to the hideaway. That's kind of hilarious. All right, I can take detours. That's a good thing, because one of the detours I can do then is cookie for Sky. One of the detours I can do then is, you know, talk to these people, or better yet, crafting.
Make it quick. So, what'll it be?
So I can make a long sword or a broadsword. If you can swear you have seen this blade before, it's probably because you have. Long swords are some of the most common weapons in the realm. And if I do reinforcement, meteorite, and... Alright. So, the broadsword can prove a deadly weapon, which is why... Alright, so 100 and 100, and that does 115. Alright, so we're better off going for the long sword then, because, yeah. It wants extra stuff, like a dragon talon, but we have that, so...
If I do say so myself.
And then we can upgrade it with the meteorite. And then, let's see. We can upgrade our iron belt with meteorite as well. We don't have a traveler's band. And we don't have the iron bracers. Alright, yeah, so I don't have any of those. So I need to make them from this stuff here. So I have the Nard scales. This does... Okay.
No scratches, right?
It makes exactly what I need. Nice. And I can upgrade the Traveler Van Braces, which is...
later. My best work, but it'll do.
Awesome. Alright. Does it make me look different? No, not really. But it makes my sword slightly different. You're gonna go eat lunch, see you? Not to worry, thank you for coming along, Cobra. A little touch and go there at the start, but great to have you. I appreciate the company. Thank you so much. Alright, is there a save option? Yes, there is. Awesome. Alrighty, overriding the save data. And I am going to end, since I can save that, I am going to end the stream there. I reckon that was a good amount of work into Final Fantasy XIV, honestly. I reckon we've gone fairly far into it. I don't think I'm at a point yet where I can get away with doing some fun, you know, offline grinding outside of stream. Maybe when I go through this game again tomorrow night, I will have a better opportunity to do that. But that's for when we, you know, finally get into tomorrow night's stream. As for now, however, we need to look at who we can go and raid. Let's see, who is online, who is doing things. Let's see. We're gonna go raid into... We've not done it to them for a long while, and sure, they're a bit of a big streamer, but we're gonna go raid into Zephora. They're right now celebrating their 1-year partnered stream thingamadiggy. So we're gonna go to them, and we're gonna use GrantZeebs Hot. Happy anniversary. Actually, no, not happy anniversary. Let's just go... Himbo congratulates you. Oh, no, Himbros congratulate you. And I did not spell that congratulates you. That is going to be our raid message. Himbos congratulates you. Actually, hang on. Himbros. Himbros congratulate you. That's going to be our raid message. All right. I will be back into Final Fantasy 16 tomorrow night. I got work the next day, so I got to go through that. And Saturday, I will be doing my MMO night. All of it can be found in my Twitch schedule, so you'll see in your local time zones when I do these kinds of streams. Otherwise, I want to say thank you for everyone who came along to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it. I hope some of you enjoy the playthrough of Final Fantasy 16 on the PlayStation 5. Wizard King, Cobra, thank you for the follow, and I hopefully will see you all next time. Bye for now.